Hey guys, what's up? It's Megan. Welcome back to my channel. I know that I haven't done a video in a little while about mental health, so I want to get back on track with that. In this video, I want to talk about my manic episode that happened exactly 1 year ago. I believe in my last manic episode video, I kind of left off with the winter of 2017, December going into 2018. So in January of 2018, unknowingly, I was kind of ramping up again. What really triggered my manic episode was in February of 2018. My husband Roman and I found this beautiful new place to live on a lake. And it's only about 2 miles from where we were living before, but we found this place, we found a really great deal, and it all happened super fast. One night, Kyle was looking at his phone online to see what was available because I really wanted to move. There was so many bad memories in the place we lived before the place we live in now. Just terrible memories, like such as I almost killed myself there. I was in a very severe depression, having suicidal thoughts all the time there. The list goes on and on, just a ton of really terrible memories. So I was dying to move, but we live in an area that's very expensive and we had a really good deal on the place we lived at before, and I wasn't really steadily working at that time, so we were looking and just kind of waiting to jump on a place. So Kyle found a really good deal for this house on a lake on like an acre of property. It's gorgeous. And so I went to the open house by myself and I beat out like 30 people that wanted this place. Of course I did. So anyways, we found the place and started moving like 2 days later. And an educational piece, as I've mentioned before, is that stress makes manic episodes worse and can trigger a manic episode. And so although this was exciting stress and I was so glad to be moving, going through all the old pictures, all the old memories, packing things up from like our wedding, and I don't know, just it really triggered me, and I started having flashbacks of lots of terrible things that happened in that house. And that's kind of when I started really abusing alcohol. I didn't realize that I was abusing alcohol. I've always been like a party girl. I've always wanted to have a good time. I've always enjoyed drinking. So my excuse for myself was that, well, I've been through a whole lot of trauma. I've been through a lot of shit. I'm in a good place. So let me just have some drinks and just, relax. And I always kind of went back to the excuse of what that first psych nurse practitioner told me, that I could drink in moderation. I just recall that we found this place, we moved really fast, and the stress of moving and going through all the old memories and the flashbacks really started to make me feel some type of way, and unknowingly I started self-medicating with alcohol. All the feelings and emotions of everything I've been through, all the trauma started really come to the surface, and it was so uncomfortable and so painful that instead of facing it head on with no substances in my system, I started drinking, and the drinking really started ramping up. It was slow but steady. I remember when we moved in here, I was, unpacking and kind of getting this new place situated, cleaning and stuff like that. And when someone's manic, they tend to start doing a lot of stuff and like can't relax, can't stop. And I'm the kind of person, like, I wouldn't let myself rest or stop until everything was done and situated and put away, which isn't realistic. But my sleep started to kind of go, and I was working really hard at organizing and cleaning, and I started drinking, and then it led to day drinking. And I would kind of wake up in the morning and be like, oh, mimosas sound fun. and I would get in my car and I would go drive to either the gas station or like there's a CVS by my house where they sell alcohol. And it started off as drinking like champagne mimosas, and you know, I wasn't working steadily. My husband and I put like a little hair salon in my house, and so I was doing hair here and there out of my home, but nothing completely steady. But I did have some income coming in, and not working a regular schedule and working out of my house, it kind of makes it easier to drink. There would often be days like during the week, like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, where I would drink in the morning and just kind of like keep it going. And then I would run out, like I would drink all the champagne, and then something would trigger in my brain that like, hey, like I want some more. And it kind of led to me like walking to the gas station, and then sometimes I would even drive, which is just so terrible. Drinking and driving is so dangerous, and I'm so lucky that I didn't get a DUI or hurt anybody. And I was also smoking a lot of weed at the time. I have also used marijuana a lot to self-medicate myself when these uncomfortable feelings and pain come to the surface. I don't like the way that it makes me feel, so drinking alcohol and smoking weed are easy, quick ways for me to numb out and not feel and deal with my pain. But when you use substances to cope with your pain and your trauma, it never goes away. The pain and the trauma is still right there, but you just delay dealing with it, and it's a temporary fix. You know, drinking alcohol and smoking weed just numbs you and delays you for that time being, but then all that shit is still there, so you have to like keep drinking and keep smoking to suppress it and keep it from coming to the surface because you don't want to deal with it. I remember my mom came over one day, and you know, she suspected that I was drinking because typically when I drink, I start to post really weird things on social media. I mean, call it weird, call it what you will. I start to post a lot. I start to post anything and everything. I post stuff of my dog. I mean, I still post this kind of stuff, but I don't know, it's different. Right now it's March of 2019, and I remember March of 2018, and I just remember starting to drink pretty heavily, and like I said, it just started ramping up until I ended up going to treatment, dual diagnosis for substance abuse and for my mental illness, to get completely reevaluated, re-diagnosed to see if my diagnosis was even correct, because there was suspicion that maybe I had borderline personality disorder and bipolar, or just bipolar. And after going to treatment, I do just have bipolar type 1 disorder with psychotic features. Yeah, it's hard because with my mania, like slow and steady, and then it picks up speed, and then it picks up some more speed, and then once I cross that line and tip over that edge of like it being full-blown manic episode, it happens so fast. And once I get to that point, like I'm completely gone. It takes a huge intervention of going to the psych ward or to treatment or something to stop me, because once I get going, I'm like a tornado. It's like I'm completely out of control. At this time last year, I started having a lot of problems in my marriage. You know, when I start to drink a lot, my husband doesn't really know what to do, and so he resorts to anger and aggression and just like, you know, being really hard on me, which another educational piece to people out there that don't know how to deal with someone that's manic or struggling with substance abuse is belittling them, ridiculing them, threatening them, giving them ultimatums. It doesn't work, straight up. I mean, if you want to make the situation worse, do those things, and it will not work. You cannot bully someone into wanting to quit drinking or quit smoking weed or quit doing drugs. You can't threaten them into it. It has to come from the person that's struggling with the substance abuse. I've been sober for over 9 months now, and I recently just told my mom and I've told my husband the reason I've been sober for this long is because I'm doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for anyone other than myself. If I was being sober for my mom or my husband or friends or other family members, I would have already been drunk by now. Because when you get sober for someone else, it will not last. It has to come from within. It has to come from you wanting it for yourself. You know, living on a lake and it's springtime and it's beautiful, you know, we have kayaks, so like I would have friends over and I'd be like, hey, bring some wine, and we would just like take snacks and wine out on the kayaks, and my friend would leave and I'd be super buzzed, if not drunk, and like want more alcohol. And a lot of times I would manipulate my husband into him not knowing that I've been drinking all day with a friend at my house and being like, hey, can you please stop and get some wine on the way home, and like we can just like have a steak dinner and like each have a glass of wine and just like romantic, like enjoy. And like my husband didn't know that I had been drinking basically all day, and so sometimes he would do it, but for the most part my husband really disagreed with my drinking, and he really didn't think that it was a good idea that I was drinking, especially the manner in which I was drinking. What basically ended up happening is I was drinking, I was self-medicating, I didn't want to feel my pain, I didn't want to feel my trauma. And when I say trauma, I have trauma from my life as a whole. My best friend committed suicide when I was 23. I have some childhood sexual abuse issues, and 2017 in and of itself, my first manic episode, getting misdiagnosed, getting put on the wrong antidepressants, and then going completely psycho. I mean, in April of 2017 alone, I went to jail 3 times into 2 psych wards in 1 month. So that was very traumatic, you know, getting my ass beat by corrections officers. All these things that I've been through have really affected me and really traumatized me. And looking back, I should have gone to get help in 2017, right after my manic episode was over and I came down from it. I should have gotten help then, but I didn't, and I just kind of tried to like brush everything under the rug and move on. I continued to go to therapy and stuff, but that wasn't enough. I needed more intense therapy and group therapy and really help for my mental illness, but I didn't get it. No one, you know, this is my family and my first time ever going through a situation like this, so we didn't know what to do. There's no like guide to how to handle this situation. So I moved back in with my husband after we got separated. We lived in the old place for a couple months. We found this new place. We moved in here. We're trying our best to move forward and to be happy, but I have all this trauma and all these issues beneath the surface that I haven't dealt with. I don't know how to deal with. I'm in so much emotional pain. I've also been diagnosed with PTSD. I sometimes have night terrors, flashbacks, all those types of things. So I didn't know how bad I needed help until it was like I had no other choice but then to get help. I also remember last spring that my sleep really started to go. It got to a point heading into April and May of 2018 where I would stay up until 3 in the morning, sleep from 3 in the morning until 6 a.m., wake up wide awake. I'm on Instagram, I'm posting Instagram stories, I'm feeling really lit, I'm like, woo, woo. You know, when I'm manic, I'm pumped, I'm amped, I'm ready to go. You know, I'd wake up, go to Green Lake, run like 5 miles, come home, clean the house, go get alcohol, drink, kick it, invite friends over. I was just ramping up completely, and you know, my family and my husband could see it, but sometimes with acquaintances or friends that don't truly know me that well, they don't really recognize that things are spiraling out of control as fast as they actually are. They just don't know my mental illness as well as my family and my husband do. I would vent to these people like, oh, my husband's an asshole, oh, my parents are so annoying, nobody trusts me, da 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 da. It's very hard when I'm manic because it's like almost like a part of me knows that I am, but it's so painful and so hard to admit and to put my ego and my pride aside that I get really defensive and then I get angry. And, the thing that's scary about my mental illness is when I am confronted and pushed and threatened and give ultimatums so much, I'll dip. Like, I'll just, like, take off. And, like, a few times last spring, my husband and I would get into arguments, and I'd be like, oh, like, go take me to get alcohol. And he's like, no. And I'm already drunk. And I'm like, all right, peace, deuces. And then I just take off down the street. I'm on foot, walk into the gas station. I got my headphones in. I'm starting to head towards where the hood homies kick it. It's scary, like, I never really knew that, like, sex trafficking was, like, such a huge thing, and it does actually really scare me. And recently I've had discussions with my husband and my mom to have, like, a plan in case I get manic again, because, like, I've been so lucky. Like, once I get more into my story about my manic episode, I mean, your guys' minds are gonna be, like, blown. Like, it's absolutely insane, like, all that I've been through. Especially, I mean, this last manic episode in 2018. I mean, my episode in 2017 was nuts too, but I mean, just wait for the videos on what happened in, like, May of 2018. It's pretty wild. My family and my husband and I were in the process of coming up with, like, an emergency manic plan, and I'm kind of, like, educating them and teaching them, like, how to talk to me and, like, ways in which I know I will respond positively. Because the thing is when I'm manic, people panic around me. My family panics, my husband panics, and when people panic, sometimes they get angry, they get aggressive, they get scared, and it comes out in, like, weird ways, and I do not react well to any of that. Like I've said, when I get manic, I'm super cool with people that are nice to me, that are cool with me, that don't come at me twisted. If people are just very gentle and kind and, like, soft-spoken and easygoing around me, I'm totally cool. But it's the people that come at me with aggression and twisted and judgment and ultimatums and threats, like, it's not a pretty picture, and you're never gonna get the results that you want out of me. So it's just a wise idea not to fight me when I'm manic. I've tried to explain that so many times, because it really is, at this point, life or death for me when I get sick like that, for the way people that love me handle me. Been through this twice now. When I went to treatment in Pennsylvania, the therapist that I worked with, she was a trauma therapist, and she said that unfortunately with bipolar disorder, it takes the person with bipolar disorder having a couple of episodes, severe episodes, for the family and the friends to learn and to realize, like, what's happening, what it is, how to deal with it, where the person needs to go to get help, etc., etc. I was really flattered. The other day I was talking to my friend Jamie, and she was like, I'm so proud of you. She's like, most people that have gone through all the shit that you've gone through would still be spiraling, still drinking, still using drugs until they die. Like, the fact that, like, you've been able to quit drinking, quit doing drugs, and deal with your shit head on and be strong, and you are where you are today, is, like, amazing. And that just made me feel so good. And I know Jamie's probably gonna watch this video. Thanks, Jamie girl. I love you. I appreciate that. And yeah, so I'm gonna wrap up this video. I could go on and on. There's a lot to cover. Not gonna lie, lately I have been scared. I've had a severe manic episode in 2017, in 2018, and now it's the spring of 2019, and I feel cool. I feel like it's all good, but I have a lot of trauma. I have a lot of flashbacks. I know people can have anniversary trauma. So it's basically the anniversary of my last manic episode, my last 2 manic episodes. So I do get freaked out, but I'm very aware. I'm getting really good sleep right now. I'm not drinking, I'm not doing drugs, and those are key, those are crucial. I'm in very close communication with my doctor, and yeah, so things are going well, and I don't take any day for granted that I'm healthy and that I'm in a good place and that I'm in, like, a healthy state of mind, because, it's so scary when I go, and it's happened too many times at this point, and I just really don't want to go through it anymore. So Anyways, if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, turn your bell notifications on, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in my next video. Deuces!